Good day. So this is a continuation sa overview of cash and cash equivalent. So tapos na tayo nag-solve kanina ng sample problem solving 1. So to proceed and to continue, we have to we have also to know or to discuss the definition of cash on hand and those adjustments for cash and cash equivalents. So let's start with definition of cash on hand. Generally, pag sinabi nating cash on hand, sabi kanina is those items that are in possession. Okay, company cash and cash items of cash that are in company's possession. Okay, portion of company's total cash. Okay, so example niyan, ito encompasses yung currency coins and bills, yung undeposited collections or those collections awaiting deposits, cash on hand yan. We also have yung other customer checks awaiting for deposits. As long as hindi pa yan nade-deposit, pwede pang tawagin yan as cash on hand. Okay? Now, yun yung short definition ng cash on hand. Now, kapag merong cash on hand yung isang company, basically yung ginagawa is to avoid being stagnant or idle, yung ginagawa ng company to maximize the use of its cash, yung excess, yung ginagawa niya is to invest it to time deposits. Kasi time deposits, nag-earn ng interest income yan. Either to, also to commercial papers or money market placements. Okay? Then we also have treasury bills. So basically, parang yung papupuntahan dito is mga investment that somehow would qualify as cash equivalents. Yung main purpose dito is to earn some returns as additional cash inflows. Okay? You are gaining cash out of cash. Ganon. Now, in accounting, how we're going to parang i-present or to consider yung mga items ng investment na in-acquire natin with the use of excess cash on hand. Depending on the maturity of investment, we're going to treat it and present it as either cash and cash equivalents, short-term investment, long-term investment as either current asset or non-current asset. So yung qualification, kapag pasok siya as 3 months or less na maturity, so papasok siya as specifically as cash equivalents, also part of current asset. However, kapag more than na ng 3 months, okay, more than 3 months, sabihin natin nag 4 months, 6 months, but within 1 year, okay, within 1 year, other short-term investment yung treatment, general treatment, pero pasok pa rin siya as current asset. Pero kapag nag more than 1 year na siya, more than 1 year, so, ibig sabihin, counting from December 31 reporting date, pag nag more than 1 year na siya from that date, na that's the time na other long-term investment yung treatment, non-current asset siya. Okay? So, yun yung ating kailangan i-observe kapag merong mga items referring dun sa cash on hand. Now, cash on hand or yung general cash natin, kailangan din, when we account for our cash, or generally sa cash and cash equivalents na rin, we basically find for adjustments, mga adjustments to cash. Kasi nga sabi ko kanina, there are items, especially yung mga cheque, although qualify siya as part of cash, hindi natin siya kinoconsider as part of cash kasi nga may considerations. So for example, mga adjustments yan, for purposes of financial statement presentation, we look for certain adjustments in relation to total cash, okay, and account them properly to arrive at proper accounting balances. Okay? So, yung focus natin, these three, yung tinatawag na undelivered checks, by the name itself, hindi na-deliver. Post-dated checks, by the name itself, it bears a date subsequent to the issue date or encashment date. Hindi. Reporting date rather. Okay? Then we have stale checks or checks that that not had been encashed within the specific encashment period. Okay, for accounting for adjustment, we should analyze carefully yung tinatawag na journal entry made. Okay, pag sinabing journal entry made, yung ginawa nating entry or ginawa nating journal entry. Then, yung applicable adjusting journal entry or yung journal entry na gagawin natin to correct the journal entry made. So, let's start with undelivered checks. Yung undelivered checks, yung scenario dyan, generally, nagbabayad tayo. We are actually paying for obligations. Nag-i-issue tayo ng checks. Pero, yung checks, hanggang drawing or pag-write lang. Pag sinabi nating draw or had been drawn or written, hanggang sa pagsulat lang dun sa cheque. Okay? Hindi literal na nagdo-drawing, hindi ganon. Pag sinabi nating draw or drawn or written, hanggang dun ka lang sa pagsulat dun sa cheque. Kasi yung cheque, di ba, sinusulatan pa yon. Then, we also have it, na-record din siya. Pag sinabing na-record siya as payment. Kasi nagbabayad nga tayo eh. Checks that had been drawn and had been recorded as payment, pero by the name itself, not had been delivered siya. Kasi nga undelivered eh. So, not had been delivered within the current reporting period. So, yung magiging analysis natin dyan, ganito yung ating journal entry made. Since yung nasa isip natin is we are issuing check to pay an obligation, binayaran natin yung obligation. Kaya nag-debit tayo ng liability account, then magka-credit tayo ng cash or cash in bank. However, since bayad lang tayo as to record, pero hindi talaga tayo actually nag-pay, no actual payment that had been made because of being undelivered, kailangan may adjusting entry tayo dyan. What is our adjusting entry? Yung suggestion is to reverse the journal entry made. So, establish lang yung cash na kuno binayad, then re-establish lang yung liability na kuno na bayaran. Okay? Again, what is the general reason bakit ganito? Kasi yung reason sa journal entry, adjusting journal entry natin kasi is no actual payment na nangyari. Although sa record natin, bayad tayo, nagbayad. Okay? Nabayaran natin yung utang o yung obligation natin, kaso nga lang, sabi ko ulit, wala talagang actual payment. Okay? Or of the liability, kasi yung check hindi talaga na-deliver. Okay? So therefore, yung effect, no actual cash flow for the current reporting period, pero na-record siya as payment. Na-record siya as payment, pag ganon, we have to reverse talaga. May appropriate adjustment just to reverse, okay, by reversing the journal entry made. Okay? To nullify the effect of payment in the records. Kasi sa records ka lang talaga nakapagbayad, but in actual, wala talaga. Okay? Then, yung post-dated check naman, pag sinabi nating post-dated check, okay, these are checks that had been drawn or written, okay, may nakasulat dun sa check na this amount is good for payment, then, na-record mo din, yung in contrast nga lang sa undelivered check, kasi yung post-dated check na i-deliver within the reporting period, but yung gist, sabi niya, bears a date subsequent or meaning post-date, okay, to the current reporting period or dun sa issuance date. Kasi yung yung accounting for yung mga cheque-cheque ba guys, pag nag-issue tayo ng check, okay, yung automatic mindset ng isang recipient or kung sino man yung naka-receive ng check na yun is demandable or demandable siya for encashment. Meaning, kapag present niya yan sa bangko, pwede niya yung mapa-encash agad. Yun yung mindset palagi or generally. However, meron tayong mga scheme na ginagawa for payments. Kasi baka yung pera natin sa bangko hindi pa sufficient for paying that amount of cash. Okay, kaya in-issue muna natin as check but post-dated until sufficient yung pera natin sa bangko to cover the amount na nandun sa cheque. Kaya nga pino-post date. Parang the same lang yung journal entry made natin dyan. Okay? Nagde-debit tayo ng liability, nagka-credit tayo ng cash. Kaso nga lang, again, kahit na-deliver yan, since hindi yan in cash because of being post-dated, we have to make corrections out of this adjusting entry made. So, magkakaroon tayo ng adjusting entry, parang similar yung gagawin natin just to reverse yung pinaka-suggested um, measure to nullify the effect of payment. Kasi bayad lang tayo, nakapagbayad tayo sa record. But per record, we have paid, but actual payment, wala talagang lalabas na pera sa atin. Okay? So again, no actual payment, yun yung ating rason for the adjusting entry because post-date. No actual cash flow na nangyari. And since it has been recorded as payment, kailangan lang i-reverse yung journal entry made to nullify the effect of payment in the records. Okay? Yung perspective natin kapag nagde-debit tayo ng liability account is we are the issuer of the check. Yan yung i-consider nyo. So, nakalimutan ko i-mention kanina, before we consider how to account for post-dated check, tignan mo muna kung sino ka dyan. Sino yung perspective mo. If you are the issuer or if you are the holder or the recipient of the check. Pag sinabing issuer, ikaw talaga yung nag-issue ng check. Kasi ikaw yung may bayarin. Pero kapag ikaw yung recipient or yung holder, meaning ikaw yung naka-receive ng check. Therefore, ikaw yung binayaran. Okay? So kapag tayo yung issuer, ganito yung gagawin natin. We are actually paying for liability, but if we are the recipient of the check, tayo yung naka-receive, okay? We are actually sought for the collections of the receivable account. Kaya nga may credit tayo na receivable account dito. Okay? We debited cash as our part of journal entry made. We debited cash with credited receivable account, mainly accounts receivable, ganon. Okay? But since in effect, hindi tayo talaga makakapag-encash, so hindi natin talaga totally mako-collect yung cash, we have to adjust it. Okay? Yung collections. To nullify the collection, re-establish the receivable account, then credit yung cash kasi walang may na-receive talaga na cash. Okay? Again, yung perspective kapag tayo yung recipient, no actual collection or receipt of the receivable. Kasi nga, post-date. No actual cash inflow this time. Then, but, since na-record natin siya as collection, may na-receive daw kuno tayo na cash. But since wala talaga, we have to reverse the journal entry made to nullify the effect of receipt of or collection in the records. Okay? Parang baliktaran lang actually, guys. Titignan mo lang talaga kung sino yung perspective mo dyan. If you are the recipient or the issuer. Okay? Or kung ikaw yung may liability or kung ikaw yung may receivable. Then yung stale checks naman, pag sinabi nating stale checks, okay? These are checks that have been drawn or written, na i-record, na i-deliver. Okay? However, okay, yung pinagbigyan natin ng cheque or yung recipient, payee or yung holder failed to encash the check within the encashment period. For your information, kapag nag-i-issue po tayo ng check, meron pong specific encashment period. Yan. General banking practice sa mga bangko, 6 months po yung maximum or reasonable na encashment period. Conceptually, sa mga books, mababasa nyo, 6 months. Okay? After analyzing, if we are involving accounting for stale checks, we have to consider kung yung amount is material or immaterial. Kasi dito magbabase yung ating adjusting journal entry. Okay? But generally, Between materiality, we consider it as always. Okay? Always material. The amount involved in the check is considered always material in amount. Okay? So, kapag immaterial, pag sinabi nating immaterial, wala tayong pake sa halaga. Wow, sana all. Richness, rich kid. Parang ganon. So, if the amount is immaterial, okay, if the amount is material, yung journal entry made natin, for example, we have to debit liability, then credit tayo ng cash. But since stale check, wala talagang lumabas na pera sa atin kasi nga hindi na in cash yung check na yan, we have to adjust. But this time, we have to adjust first by reversing the entry, okay, reversing the journal entry made, and eliminate the liability by crediting other income. Okay? Crediting as other income. So to adjust, alternatively, we can debit cash, then credit na lang agad other income. Pwedeng ganon. Okay? Pero kapag material, okay? Kapag material yung amount, which is assumption natin kapag yung problem is silent, ibig sabihin kapag hindi nag-state sa problem na material siya or hindi, we always assume material. Kasi nga pera yan, guys. It involves money. Okay? Kapag when it comes to cash payments or cash collections, we actually consider the amount as always material. Okay? So kapag material, ganun pa rin ang assumption sa journal entry made, debit liability, credit cash, kasi kuno nagbayad, but to adjust, this time, ganito lang yung entry natin. Babalik ta rin mo lang talaga yung journal entry made. Unlike kapag immaterial, nagke-credit tayo ng other income. Okay? So, yun yung difference. Either way, yung reason, no actual cash payment due to non-encashment of the check. Okay? So, no actual payment. So, let's proceed with this sample problem. Okay? So, high-speed company pa rin. So, sample problem solving 2. So, yung requirements, adjusting journal entry daw sa number 1, number 2, number 3. Then, sa number 4, assuming immaterial at saka material. Okay? So, dalawa yung gagawin nating adjustment dito sa number 4. Okay? Both assumptions. So, let's start with number 1. Ano yung sabi sa number 1? Sa number 1, sabi niya, draw and recorded a check in the amount of 22,000. So, nag-record ka daw ng cheque for 22,000 as payment. Na-record mo daw siya as payment to a supplier for goods purchased on account. So, may liability ka na binayaran. The checks daw remained undelivered. Undelivered at the end. Remained undelivered. So, kung gagawan natin yan ng journal entry, okay? So, kung gagawan natin yan ng entry made, yung journal entry made natin dyan is, sabihin na lang natin accounts payable at sa sum accounts payable. Debit tayo ng accounts payable. Then credit tayo ng cash kasi nga kuno nagbayad. Good for 22,000. Ganyan. Pero, undelivered. So therefore, yung adjusting journal entry natin dyan, AGE, is just to reverse the entry. We have to debit cash, then credit accounts payable. You can use actually cash in bank. Okay? But ako, I'll just use cash. Okay? O sige, ano ko na lang, consider cash in bank for your benefit. Ganyan. Okay? So, ganyan lang yung ating magiging adjusting entry. Okay? Now, let's proceed dun sa item number 2. Ano naman yung scenario sa number 2? Sa number 2, sabi niya, issued a check drawn in the amount of 14. Check drawn. Nag-issue tayo, check drawn in the amount of 14,000 to a servicing company. The check was delivered, no problem. No delivered. No delivered. Na-deliver pala. It has been delivered on November 28. Kailan na-deliver? Sa November 28. So, yung perspective ng makaka-receive, after that date, pwede na daw encash or within that day, pwedeng ma-encash. However, it bears a date na January 31, 2020. So, ibig sabihin, may encash pa natin siya, may encash pa siya, kung sino man yung recipient, dun pa sa January 31. Okay? Yung reason for post-dating was to secure sufficient fund in the bank. So, post-dated check. Na-record natin siya as payment. Okay? As payment kasi. Now, ano yung gagawin? Yung naging entry, yung magiging entry natin dyan, okay? Entry made would be the same. Debit tayo ng accounts payable tsaka cash in bank, this time for 14,000. Pero, since walang actual payment kasi nga post-dated, we have to adjust it. The same adjusting entry. Assume na lang ganito yung amount, yung accounts na involved. So, i-reverse lang talaga natin. Ganyan lang. Okay? Ganyan lang yung ating accounting dyan. Now, let's proceed naman dun sa item number 3. Ito number 3. Okay? Sa item 3, sabi niya, received. This time received, This time received a check. Received a check as collection in the amount of 20,000. So, naka-receive tayo ng check na good for 20,000. Sabi niya, the check was received dun sa November 30. Okay? Pero yung check, merong date daw, the same, January 31. Tayo yung naka-receive ng check, sa November 30, may collection, pero mapapa-encash pa rin natin, ma-encash lang natin siya sa January 31 pa kasi nga post-dated ang purpose. Post-dated ang purpose to secure sufficient fund in the bank. So, no encashment available. So, since ganyan yung scenario tayo naka-receive, yung journal entry made natin this time, yung entry made, we have it as debit tayo ng cash, kuno naka-receive. Then, credit tayo ng, sabihin na lang natin, accounts receivable. Okay? Accounts receivable. Good for 20,000. However, wala tayong talagang na-receive na cash. Okay? Wala tayong na-receive na cash. So, we have to adjust this one. Paano i-adjust? Suggestion is always to, tawag nito, reverse lang yung journal entry made. So, debit tayo accounts receivable. Then, credit tayo ng cash to nullify the effect of kuno the collection. Okay? So, that's it. Then, let's proceed naman sa item 4. Yung item 4, dalawa yung gagawin nating adjustment because of two different assumptions. Okay? So, sa item 4, sabi niya, nag-issue tayo ng check. Again, issue the check drawn in the amount of 5,000 to a small supplier of spare parts. However, the check daw became stale when the supplier failed to encash within the bank's encashment period. So, stale. Nag-stale siya. Yung assumption natin una, kapag immaterial. So, yung journal entry made natin, since tayo yung nagbayad, parang ganito pa rin. Let us assume na accounts payable siya. Okay? So, debit tayo ng 5,000 for accounts payable, then cash for 5,000 again. Credit sa cash in bank. However, assuming, okay, adjusting journal entry natin, assuming immaterial, okay, ano yung suggested natin na entry dito? First is to reverse. Okay? Debit tayo, cash in bank. Then credit tayo, accounts payable. Okay? Good for 5,000. Then, afterwards, eliminate the accounts payable. Yung liability kasi nga wala na, hindi na yan, immaterial yung assumption natin eh. We assume na hindi na tayo ira-run after. Wala na talaga tayong babayaran. Then credit other income. Good for 5,000. However, take note, you have credited here accounts payable, then you have debited here accounts payable. So you can eliminate this one actually. So kung mapapansin nyo, pwede yung adjusting entry na lang natin is to debit cash, then credit other income. Okay? But kayo lang, I do suggest ganito yung gawin nyo. Kasi mas proper siya eh. Kasi nakikita yung flow, yung elimination. Okay? Then, kapag naman, yung adjusting journal entry natin, kapag yung amount is considered material. Okay? Simply, yung ating adjusting journal entry is to debit cash in bank kasi per record kunuhay na bayad but technically wala, so re-establish lang yung accounts payable. Okay, good for 5,000. Again, yung assumption natin na is always material. We always assume this one kasi it involves cash. Okay? So that's it for sample problem solving 2. Okay? Now let's proceed dito sa sample problem solving 3. Okay? So another high-speed company ulit, but this time binigyan lang tayo from cash on hand to down to money orders. Then kinumbine natin yung problem sa yung item sa problem solving 2. Yung nire-require sa atin this time is sa number 1, part of cash. Number 2, part of cash equivalents. Number 3, total current asset. So, pasok yung cash and cash equivalents dito. Then, other current assets sa total current assets. Then, total non-current assets. Then, rini-require tayo ng adjustment to accounts payable. Okay? Assuming number 4 is immaterial. Then, number 5, assuming, number 6, considered material. Okay? So, let's do the, yung technique natin kanina, yung qualify. Okay? So, I'll just have this one copied. Yan. So, let us start with cash on hand. Another, again, cash on hand, wala namang statement. So, automatic, part of cash, part of current asset din yan. So, 200,000, current asset din, papasok. Then, yung cash in banks, video savings, pasok din as cash. 1,500,000. Then yung cash in bank, video save checking, pasok din yan as cash, 1,200,000. Pasok din as current asset. Then petty cash fund, pasok din yan as cash. Parang the same lang actually kayo na sa problem 1. Nag-combine lang natin, may ineliminate lang tayo ng mga items. Okay? Then treasury bills, this one kanina na-qualify natin to as cash equivalent. So cash equivalent siya 200,000 pero pasok siya as current asset 200,000. Then next, treasury bills, eto 3 months. Yung maturity pero purchase 2 years ago, other current asset na lang to. So pasok na lang dito sa current asset na 500. Then time deposit, we have here time deposit. Wait, yung 500 pala to is nandito. Sorry, let me correct myself again. Let's proceed. Time deposit, 6 months, 600,000. Other current asset na lang yan. Other current asset yan. So, hindi pa pasok as cash or cash equivalent. Then, time deposit na 3 months, pasok as cash equivalents. Okay? Then, money market instruments na 2 months, pasok as cash equivalents, 150,000. Yung 400 pala kanina na cash equivalent, pasok as current asset. So, yung with 150,000 na to. Pasok din. Then, money market instruments, 4 months, pasok lang as current asset, 110,000. Okay? Then, treasury warrants, again, part of cash, 120,000. Then, pasok as current asset. Then, treasury bonds, we have it non-current asset, good for 1 million. Then, money orders, na-mention na natin to kanina, this is part of cash. 220,000. Okay? But, yan na sana yan, kaso nga lang meron pa tayong adjustment. Okay? Meron pa tayong adjustment. Asan yung adjustments natin? Let's start with these items. Meron na tayong ano dito kanina. Meron na tayong tawag nito. Meron na tayong journal entries dito kanina dun sa ating sa sample problem solving 2. Na-solve na natin to. Let's just make use of those adjusting journal entries. So, the same pa rin naman yung mga amounts. Dito, 22,000, undelivered. So, alam nyo na yung adjusting journal entries niyan. Then, dito, 14,000. Nag-issue daw tayo. Ito, draw unrecorded. Tapos, ano yung nakalagay? Post-dating. Post-dated siya. Then, dito, naka-receive tayo ng check as collection, 20,000. Pero, post-dated daw. Dito naka-issue tayo ng check, good for 5,000, but failed to encash, naging stale. Yung assumption is either material or immaterial. Okay. So, make use na lang tayo dito sa adjusting journal entries. Yung naging journal entry made natin, okay, so ano yung gagawin? Okay? Sa item 1, yung entry made natin, nagbawas tayo ng cash, nagdeduct tayo ng cash, but we have to adjust it by reestablishing the cash. So, yung gagawin natin dito, sa column ng cash, may adjustment tayo, additional 22,000. Yun yung effect ng adjusting AGE1. Yan, AGE1. So, AGE 2, 3, 4. Yan. Then, yung adjusting journal entry 2, yung adjusting journal entry 2, again, nagbayad kuno tayo ng cash, but we have to reestablish the accounts payable, then debiting the cash. So, for 14,000, mag-a-add ulit tayo ng 14,000 dito. Yan. Then, sa adjusting journal sa item 3, yung adjusting journal entry natin, we debited cash to receive, to consider collections, then credited accounts receivable, but walang collections, we have to debit accounts receivable back, then credit cash. Since na-include, na-record daw, we have to deduct here 20,000. Okay? Then, kapag naman, okay, dito sa number 4, sa number 4 na adjustment, ito lang yung, ano dito, yung gist. Kung mapapansin nyo sa journal entry made, debit tayo ng accounts payable, credit tayo ng cash. Pag nag-adjust, whether material or immaterial, we always debit cash. We always reestablish the cash. Okay? So, we really have to add back cash, 5,000. Regardless if it is material or immaterial. So, 5,000 dito. Okay? Then, yung sagot natin sa sa items 4 and 5, kasi the amount as adjustment as accounts payable, maglalagay na lang tayo ng additional column. Okay? Dito, sabi na lang natin dito, accounts payable. Then sa baba, kapag material, then dito naman kapag immaterial. So, using the adjustment for, okay, transaction for, yung adjustment natin, kapag alin ba yung nauna? Immaterial. Kapag daw immaterial, walang effect. Bakit walang effect? Kasi nga, we're going to establish immaterial eh. So, i-establish natin 5,000. Pero, magdideduct ulit tayo ng 5,000. Pero, kapag material, okay, kapag material, ano yung entry natin? Adjusting journal entry natin, we establish the accounts payable. So, yung kalalabasan is to have here really 5,000. So, yung magiging sagot natin dyan, okay, ayan. For number 1, item of cash, we have it 3,276,000. For cash equivalents, We have it 750,000. For total current assets, we have it 5 million. Ay, wait. Okay. This adjustment, sorry, I forgot, will also appear as adjustment to current asset. Sorry, I forgot. Appear din yan kasi the adjustment to cash is also adjustment to current assets. The adjustment to accounts receivable will also an adjustment to current asset. Okay, kaya nga may minus din dito. So for current asset, we have it 5,236,000. Then for number 5, kapag daw immaterial, 0. Kapag naman material, automatic 5,000. Okay? So, yun yung sagot. So, that's it. Have a good day.